Hey everybody, Poker Dad here. So just going to be doing a quick study session before I start my gameplay session. And this week I'm going to be focusing on looking at double barrel bluffs. And so what I filtered for hands that I have either a flush draw or a straight draw. I figured that was the easiest way for me to be able to do this. I'm just going to be breaking out a quick worksheet which came with my program, the core program that I'm doing. I think this worksheet is actually a free worksheet they offer on the Redship site, so I wouldn't really be giving much away here. So let me, while I'm doing this, just start looking for a hand that we can review. So let me look at the, I don't want to have any spoilers, so let me look at the my hand reviews, which don't show anything. Let me, okay. Let me just make sure. I'm just going to do this one up here just to make sure that hands aren't shown, or just my hand is shown, which is fine. Yes. Okay. Let me just get this, download the sheet here. Yeah, it's a free sheet. So it's a double barrel checklist sheet. So I'm going to take a look at some things to find out if my double barrel was good or not. My double barrel bluff. So let's take a look here. I like to do something that went 3 streets. I don't want to do anything recent either. Let's see if we can do something that was a while back. Alright, this one looks good. Raise, bet, bet, bet at 5 NL. Let's take a look at this one. Not the raise, bet, bet, check, fold. This actually would be an interesting one here. Raise, bet, bet, check, fold. Let's take a look at this one. And we have Jack, Queen offsuit in the small blind. Okay. So let me show you this worksheet. This is the worksheet that I'll be using. And it'll help me figure out whether or not it was a good double barrel bluff or a double barrel bluff I shouldn't have done. So I'm actually going to keep this off screen, but I will mention it. I'm also, of course, running Flopzilla as well. So let's first take a look and get to that point. So this was actually played on Fast Fold Poker on Ignition 2.5. So let's see, we get a button open, and I decided to 3-bet Jack Queen from the small blind. So first, let me just see that. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's see, big blind versus small blind. I'm sorry, small blind versus button. Jack Queen offsuit. Actually, yeah, Jack Queen offsuit I actually have as a 3-bet fold to 4-bet from a small blind. So okay, then that 3-bet is fine. I don't know how much I love it, but all right, it's fine. So we can think about that with when we put in our range, of course, and we get called from the button. So first, just what I want to do is I'm gonna actually have 2 Flopzillas open. You know what? Actually, also, I'm gonna have 2 Flopzillas open just because I want to show my range in one. So my range that I'm opening up with is, let's see, that was the small blind versus button. So my 3-bets are, everything here is a 3-bet. So I don't think this is my cheat sheet chart. Pink and orange would be calls. So these are all. This is my range for 3-betting here versus the button. And now let me just open up. This is the other Flopzilla screen. Oh wait, let me just fix this. So let's just come up with a. I have some other ranges which I'm not going to show on screen that I'm going to put up a 3-betting range. Button. would actually be facing a 3 betting range button versus small blind 3 bet, and these are the hands that are going to be in this range, in this call. These are the hands that our opponent could have called with here. King 6, King 5, Ace Queen, King Jack off. I know this is a very wide range, but I prefer to use a wider range when trying to figure this out here. These are hands I would call a 3-bet. I'm going to take some of these hands out though, because this is fast fold, and fast fold they tend to be a little bit tighter at fast fold. So let's take out these hands. I don't think these hands would call a 3-bet. I can leave these hands in here, but I don't think those other hands would call a 3-bet. We'll take out these two. All right, but we can leave the rest of these hands in here that may call a 3-bet here. And I had Jack of Spades and Queen of Diamonds. So starting off, my equity versus range is 43%. So now let's take a look here and see what kind of flop we get. So we get a straight draw. We need a 10 for a straight draw. There also is 2 hearts out there as well, which is a little bit scary. So let's first thing I want to do is I want to grab my range. So 8 of hearts, King of Spades, Ace of hearts. Sorry. King of Spades, 8 of hearts. First thing I want to do is I know that I want to be c-betting 70% of my range here. So I just want to take a look. I'm going to click all these off. And I want to see if Jack Queen, Queen Jack offsuit falls within that 70%. So I would definitely be betting sets here, aces, kings, and eights. And 2 pairs I would definitely be betting here. And top pairs I would definitely be betting here. That's 42% already. So maybe some top pairs I wouldn't. Let's say I would only do ace 10 and higher. And the other aces I wouldn't c-bet. That'd be down to 31%, which looks good. I could always add in more. My flush draws here, I will definitely bet. I don't think I have any open enders. I don't. So my gut shots here, I would bet the Queen Jacks, but I wouldn't bet the Queen 10s or the Jack 10s. So the Queen Jacks I would definitely bet. And the backdoor flush draws I would bet. That brings me to 50%. So I need more hands to bet here with. So I can bet with any flush draw. I don't think these would change anything. I need more hands to bet with here. What's middle pair? The middle pair would be a king. So I can bet with kings here too. I can see bet with kings. That brings me to 63%. And my weak pairs, I could actually bet with some of these too. Let's bet with queen queen through 9-9, but not 5-5. We'll take out these and we'll bet 9-9, 10-10, Jack Jack, and queen queen here, because our range is so much smaller because of the fact that we did 3-bet here. So there are less bluffs. That brings us to 77%. So that's actually really high. Let's take out 9-9, 10-10. Maybe just bet with Jack Jack and queen queen. Yeah. Okay. So these hands right here are going to be the hands that I should c-bet here. So obviously it's a huge part of my range that I actually should be c-betting in this spot here. The only things I'm not c-betting is 10s, 10-10, 9-9, 7-7, 6-6, 5-5. So yeah, and yeah, that's good. Okay, I don't mind this at all. Um, so hopefully I do a C bet here, and this is something with more practice, I'm going to be able to pick up on what hands I should be C betting with, because it's not so clear cut. Because of the fact that I should be C betting with my kings here, because I just don't have that many bluffs. If you take a look here, I have a total of 6.98 plus 15.5 plus 13.2. I only have 35% bluffs here in my range. So I'm pretty balanced here between bluffs and values, but you could make the argument that my middle pair, oh, whoops, I didn't put in the weak pairs. Okay. You can make the argument here that that really I'm very balanced here. I just don't have enough bluffs, which should make this a very interesting hand to look at, because I don't have a ton of bluffs. And most of my bets would be for value. So can I sell a bluff? Now, let's see. Do I place the bet? Hopefully I do. I do. Good. And it's a half pot bet, which is okay because I'm on a draw. Sometimes I can make it a little bit bigger because there is a flush draw out there, which would definitely beat me. And my opponent calls. So let me just find out what my opponent is calling with here, with his range that we gave him. So we have, again, ace of hearts, eight of spades, and king of spades. We'll say that he's just going to call the stuff. So sets two pairs, top pairs, and middle pairs. We'll say that he will call these hands here for the weak pairs and dump all the rest of them. Anything below an 8. No main hand, of course, he's not calling. Flush draws, he'll call. There are no open enders. He'll call some gut shots and the back door flushes, and of course all this stuff. So right now our equity is at 20%. Not very good, of course, but we have the initiative, so we want to stick with it. And now an 8 comes out. So this is an interesting, really interesting card. 8 of diamonds. And just by the looks of it, our equity drops to 20%. And I just want to think about this logically for a second in terms of double barreling. Why would we double barrel this board? Well, the first thing is going to be, could we have ace-8 suited? And could we have 3-bet with ace-8 suited? Sure, we could have. This was my range, if you remember. So ace-8 suited is definitely something we could. In fact, let's just throw in 8 of diamonds here. Ace-8 suited is definitely something that we could have 3-bet with. We have it in our range of hands we would 3-bet. But would I have c-bet an 8? Well, when we look at the 70% hands that I would have c-bet, an 8 is not, well, ace-8. Well, if I had ace-8 suited, okay, so if I had ace-8 suited, I would have 2-pair. I definitely would have c-bet 2-pair. So I could have a full house here and double barrel with a full house. But other than that, there aren't many other 8s that I would want to see. There are not many other 8s that would help me. So is this a good double barrel bluff? So now I'm going to refer to the to this right here. All right, and I'm going to ask these questions. I'm going to keep this off to the side. Let's grab our opponent's range here. And my first question is going to be, would they fold top pair? How often would they fold top pair or over pairs? Well, let's see what he has. Quads. Is he ever going to fold quads? Absolutely not. He won't fold a full house. He has no straights. He won't fold three of a kind. Two pair he wouldn't fold. He doesn't have any. And top pairs. Would he fold any top pairs here? I highly doubt it. Would he fold any flush draws here? Well, he might if my bet is big enough. It depends on the size of my bet on if he would fold any flush draws here. In fact, let's take a look at my bet just to kind of figure it out here. What size bet do I do? I do a half pot bet. All right, so he would definitely not fold any flush draws to a half pot bet. Absolutely not. And the same thing goes, he has no open enders. And the gut shots. The gut shots he might fold to a double barrel. So the number of hands that he would fold here would be 48.7% of his hands. So he has top pair or better 51.3% of the time. That's pretty good for him. So, okay. Now, will he fold any medium pairs? Well, what medium pairs do we have? That's second and third pairs. So he's got 26.3% of his range are middle pairs. And in terms of weak pairs, that would be the pocket tens. So if we just only put this here. Well, we could just say it's like 7.5%. So 26.3 plus 7.5. So 33.8% of his range is middle pairs. So I think he would fold those. So 33.8% of his range he would definitely fold, which are the medium pairs. And I said, would he fold the draws? And I said, no, I don't think he would fold the draws. And that is 12.5. That's 22.5% is draws. And would he float us? I'm going to say no because his site is pretty tight. And would he raise worse than two pair? I'm going to say no. So now here's how we're going to figure this out. Here's the answers I put into the form here. And now I just need to figure out my break-even percentage. So let me break out my spreadsheet. Hang on. So I can figure out the break-even percentage. Okay. Risk divided by reward. So we are the break-even percentage here is hang on. So we're risking $1.14. And if he folds, then we win $3.53. So we need 24% equity in order to make this bluff. So when I go and grab this and we say that he would be continuing with the tens and the flush draws and the open-ended straight draws, we can see that I have 15% equity. So because of that, this is a bad bluff here that I should not be doing. And it really makes a lot of sense. You know, as I look at this hand, even without doing the math here, the math says I should not be doing this bluff. And you know, there are actually other questions that I could ask myself too besides that, which is, was the turn a scare card? Well, it really isn't a scare card because he's not going to think I have an 8 and that I have 3 8s unless he thinks I have ace 8. So it really is not a scare card. And does the turn help our opponent's range? Um, well, it is better for this turn card is better for his range, so it does help his range. I think if this were a card like a jack or maybe even another ace, that would be a better card for me to double barrel here than it would be an 8 coming out. Which hands would you value bet on this turn card? Let's just look at my range again real quick. I mean, the hands that I would double barrel with this particular turn card, really the only one is going to be ace 8. Ace 8 is really the only hand that I should double barrel with here. I don't think I have any bluffs. I don't have any bluffs really that I can double barrel with here. The 8 does not improve my hand at all. So again, this is just like not a good bluff here. And our opponent's how large is our opponent's range? And it's pretty decent size. Especially because we bet half pot. So we know that this was definitely a bad double barrel bluff here. It made no sense at all. And if our opponent is thinking, he's going to know that this was probably a bad bluff here. Plus, I gave him a really good price to call because he's definitely not afraid of the 8. So he calls it, and a 6 comes out. So I've missed everything, and I check, and he bets, of course, and I fold. And so we know that the mistake here made on this hand was definitely this 8. So I just wanted to take a look from a hand reading point of view before we move on. I don't know if we're going to get to actually see what he had, but let's just see a 6 of diamonds, what we think he'd be betting with here. What could he have? He could have quads, full houses. Although really ace, ace, and king, king. I should have taken out ace, ace, and king, king actually. Wait, let's just take out ace, ace, and king, king to see if that. Because actually, these hands here. Oh, I'm sorry. This is my range. Whoops. Sorry. Not used to doing two. Okay, yeah. I'm not used to doing two flopzillas open separately like this. All right. So quads, full house, straight, 3 of a kind, 2 pair, and with say top pair, all these hands would bet there. And of course, obviously, I would have to fold since I missed completely. Let's just see what he had. He had queen 3 suited. So, but you know what though? This bet here is. See, so this becomes interesting. Right? So we know that obviously this was a bad bluff, but I think since I did this bluff, I really should triple barrel the river at this point, just even for a small bet, and get folds for hands like this that are doing this. So I actually could have won this hand if I would have put out just even a small bet. He's never calling that bet. But that being said, good play by him. When I checked to him, betting is his best option because he knows I'm bluffing and he knows I don't have anything and I'm not going to call, and he could take down the pot right here. So this is the first hand like this I'm looking at. I'm going to be looking at hands like this all week, but I'm happy that I was able to. Sorry if I sound kind of weird while doing this video, but I'm just kind of thinking about this process as it's going along, kind of thinking out loud and speaking through my thoughts on this video. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching this study video, and click the like button if you like, and please do me a favor and subscribe. And until next time, Poker Dad.